Hi, I'm Catherine, the creator of Shia and the JETSUNS Community Preservation of the Promised Land. Let's talk about the books. Now, this book right here, okay, now let's talk about The Never Ending Story. Please watch the 1984 movie, The Never Ending Story. It is about you. The Never Ending Story is about you because they write books about us, okay? They write books about us and then they say, oh, it's fiction. No, it's real. The never ending story is about about us. Now literally they literally wrote a book about us. When you look at the movie, you're going to see the boy who reads it, that it is him in the book, and he throws it. He said, oh, this book is just gone too far, man. Listen, they are talking about us. I am her. I am the return of Queen Calafia. Okay, so if you can find her that's saying and doing what I'm doing, I've been writing to senators, presidents, letting them know that they have stolen our land and that they have to give it back. And if they don't, there's going to be some serious consequences in the last days, and we're in the last days. So if anybody is doing what I'm doing, please let me know. Send her to me so that we both can work together to create the promised land. Because I'm the promised land creator. This is just what I do. People are plumbers, doctors, lawyers. I create the promised land. That's just what I do. I'm here to cross people over into the promised land. Now, the never ending story, they wrote a book about me. I am the return of Empress Calafia. Now, Isis Blue, my family member that found me on YouTube. Shout out to Yeshua Pandora. If it wasn't for you, Yeshua Pandora, I wouldn't have subscribers, a lot of subscribers that I have today, because he's the one that introduced me out there to the video. But let me just show you something. You see this right here? This is the land that I bidded for. So the land property that I bidded for right here in front to make the promised land, I want to make a huge tree that we can go inside and live inside the tree, because that's what we were living. We were living inside the trees. She was flying to a tree stump. She wasn't flying to a mountain. She was flying to a huge tree stumps. We lived in the trees. Watch Rod Hayes video. Watch the latest Rod Hayes video. He talks about how we used to live in trees. Watch the movie Avatar. It's real. It's true. I'm trying to. That's why you have to look at the movie Never Ending Story, 1984 movie Never Ending Story. These were trees, and we used to live on top of the trees. We never was on the ground because it was Eve. Eve's children was on the ground, and she's a whole lizard. Like the Garden of Eden. Well, in the roots of it, it was like snake people. They were becoming more angrier and angrier because we didn't come down. We were up high and mighty, and we didn't come down and to help what was going on down on the ground. I know that sounds really crazy, but they cut down our trees. The trees I'm talking about, they were so tall that the clouds reached the knees of the trees. Like your knee, that's where the clouds reach. So we're talking about, we had buildings that connect to other buildings. Watch the Rod Hayes video, or Young Elder. He goes into it to where you can go from Ohio to let me see, Ohio to Virginia, and you will never have to touch the ground because we had buildings from tree to tree, connected from tree to tree. Now, okay, so now we splice griffins. What are griffins? Griffins are hawks and panthers together because they eat lizard people. They eat snakes. Hawks, eagles eat snakes. Go ahead, type it in. Okay, so she's the smartest woman. I would have done that. Yes, I would have. I would have had an animal that will take me places. Now, in the book, oh, okay. So the property right here, right here in front of the house, is right here in the book. This is Chino, California. The tree would be right here where the animals are playing. I live right here. No, I'm sorry. I live on the corner. Like literally, type in College Park in Chino, California. College Park in Chino, California. Type it in, and just type in the address. Just all one word. Just go ahead and do that. You will see these houses. I live at the corner. Okay, so they write books about us. This is Mother Goose in California by the same author that wrote the Queen of Calafia. Now, I already showed you the video about how they read the story about that she's still alive. She's still here. So that's me. Okay, so you want to support me because I have returned. Yes, I have. And it's okay because we return. Okay, now when we talk about California, we're talking about Florida too. We're talking about Florida. When I'm talking about Florida, I'm talking about motherlands. There are lands in the United States where there was nothing but women and children. We were giving birth to women and children, and there was agreement with the men. We did not kill the men. I don't know why they keep saying that she was killing men. No, she wasn't. She was killing snake men. Men who would knock her off the throne. Men that would kill people like that would destroy Yi and Kyrie Irving. People like that, snake people, the people that we're dealing with, the people that Kyrie Irving is dealing with. She was killing those men. And we're gonna have to, because if we don't, then we all die. Do you understand? We have to do what she was doing. She's in her land. She's in her land of her promised land. It was already not even promised land. Promised land didn't even exist. Can't nothing be promised to you when you already have it. So she already was in her promised land. See, so now he had to write. If this was this would be a tree. This would be a tree, and she would be flying into the tree, and in the tree you would see cities upon cities as far as the eye can see. Okay, I'm just letting you know how it was before the white man came here and took over the Moors. When they went to Europe and took over the Moors, because they're not indigenous to America or South America. They were brought here from another planet called Jupiter. They're slaves on Jupiter, and they were brought here. I know that sounds crazy. That's why I say we have to confiscate our own properties so that we can travel. When we confiscate the properties, right? We have to get a hold of Lori Lightfoot, the mayor Lori Lightfoot came up with the law of Safety Act, which she's supposed to. You're supposed to do the Safety Act, Lori. You're right. You're supposed to. Because a crime is being committed upon us. We have to learn about our family's history. We have to learn about what happened to us. We have to know. We have to learn about our history, our culture. What happened to us? What happened to our trees? What's his name? Shout out to Isis Blue. She showed the cartoon. Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan. Type in Paul Bunyan cartoon. The old 1953 cartoons. I was just looking at it. The video I was going to show the cartoon, but just type in Paul Bunyan. He cut off our trees. 1952 cartoon. I'll go ahead and leave a link. I'll leave you a link, and I'll leave you this so that we can show Lori Lightfoot we have to start confiscating our properties. The Safety Act law has to be added. This locksmith service have to be added into the Safety Act law that she already passed. It allows us to confiscate our homes and businesses of our choice because we are supposed to have our own home. And children, I'm talking about a teenager from the age of 18 supposed to have their own home and their own business. Because we had this before they came here, right? You don't know this, but our parents was brainwashed, believing that the white man is supposed to rule when they were actual criminals. Paul Revere and their bloodline was the whole entire race that was supposed to have been executed and murdered by the British right here. But instead, they executed their slave masters and took over our lands. So when you get reporters that disrespect Yi, they are supposed to be removed from their office immediately. They cannot ask Yi or Kyrie any questions if they're sinister. If you're a sinister snake, you cannot ask us any questions. You can't even approach us. So the confiscation is to add the services to keep the snakes away from us. Her philosophy was not killing men, it was killing snake people that would knock her off the throne. We don't want to be knocked off our throne. If we do, then we all suffer and die like we're doing right now, aren't we? See, see, see. Right now, you're stuck, aren't you? Oh, I'm talking about gingerbread indigenous people. You're stuck, aren't you? You want to travel. You want to receive your free JETSUNS, your motorhome coaching, RV motorhome coach, so you can travel with your families to 7 to 13 different promised land areas. You're supposed to do that based on my detailed instructions to the proposal that I sent to Lori Lightfoot. She has the proposal to add the services. She has to contact the Governor Gavin Newsom. She has to contact him to hand over the resources that we need to start to live our life like we used to. We used to fly and float. We used to go from city to city and travel and heal our family and friends and see and socialize and see our lands of what we missed. We supposed to do that. Did you know that no one is supposed to be a basketball player? You're not supposed to have make a living doing that. You're not supposed to make a living being a basketball player, put the ball in a hole all day. No. You're supposed to go out and see people that you're supposed to meet and help. And maybe they can help you. You're not supposed to make a living out of sports. Just back and forth, back and forth. We're not supposed to do this holiday season every year. We're supposed to do something different. We're supposed to travel with our friends. We were never supposed to be homeless or impoverished in any way. The people that invaded us, the snake people that knocked us off our thrones and cut down our trees, is the one that is talking ill will to us, not just Kyrie, but they're forcing us to pay rent on our own land, forcing us to pay for food and water on our own land is an abomination. We have to get some sort of like medication, like marijuana, right? We used to get it like where it was going across straight buds, right? $10, $15. Now it's like $80 for a little small bag. Who told them to even take our bud and sell it to us? You see, it's an abomination. You can't even get a peace of mind and smoking your own medication because they locked that down too. This is why they have to be removed. Listen, we don't need to remove them. We just need to confiscate our own properties, okay? We just need to confiscate our own properties, our homes, where we live at, so we can have the rules and regulations attached to it. Stating to the apartment owner, you don't charge me rent. You charge white people and Mexican rent because I'm not Mexican and white. This is my land. You're not indigenous. So you got to do the rules right, because if you don't say anything to them, then they'll continue to kill you. If you don't say anything to the mayor and governor of other states, they'll continue to go by their criminal law rules that's against you. So you have to open your mouth and tell the truth. That's why Yee is telling the truth, because if he didn't tell the truth, they would have murdered him. He has to tell. You got to tell. This is why Otis Reddings, Sam Cooke, all of them died, because they have closed mouths. You don't let your murderer kill you. You have to open your mouth and you have to fight back and say, no, you're wrong. You're a snake. I come to apply for a singing job or an acting job. I didn't come here to be a homosexual to be turned into a fucking reptilian. I didn't come here to do that. I didn't come here to rape little boys and little girls and drinking adrenochrome and bullshit. I didn't come here to do that. I came here to apply to be a singer, a rapper, or an actress, because this is what I want to do. This is what people's soul would like to see, entertainment. They want to see that. So if I come to apply for a job, I don't come here to sign some sacrifice contract. You have to get the fuck off our land. And you have to be replaced by a real manager that can manage my services. If you're an actor or a rapper, you would be an independent contractor. You're independent. You make your own money. You pay the manager. They don't pay you. No, you tell them, hey manager, this is what you're gonna do for me. Here, I'll pay you that. That's what you don't sign your name, nothing. No, they gotta sign your contract. Do you understand? See, the reason why Yee and Kyrie is in that predicament is because We were brainwashed to believe that we have to use their money. We're not supposed to use their money. If they stole our golden resources, we have to get back to the gutter wars. The gutter wars was where foreigners, snake people, white people, Mexican people, Moors came here on our lands and invaded our homes. We were killing them on sight. You have to get back to that because this is what she's all about. She kills them on sight. If they're coming to kill you, you have to defend yourself. If a woman was broken into her house and they was raping her kids and she didn't do nothing about it, you know she go to jail? Do you know the woman goes to jail? If they broke into her house and raping her kids and she didn't call the police, you know she go to jail? Did you know she go to jail if she don't defend her children? So if you don't defend your community, then you die. So imagine the people who call themselves the police officers who are really actually wearing costumes. They're wearing costumes, okay? You're wearing, police officer, you're wearing a costume. You have to know that. And we're going to tell you that. Okay, you're wearing a costume. You're not supposed to be here. You're out of control. So when you don't say things like that to them, then they believe that they can just wear a uniform and tell you what to do on your own land. It's an abomination. Her philosophy was about, and her griffins were humans, because it says it in the book. In the original book from the library. This is the original book from the library. In there, the explorers that went and saw the griffins, they actually saw her and they fought this woman. When they saw her griffins, they were huge, huge. They said that they were like humans. She ordered them to go back into the cage. And they were all like, oh, we want to kill some more men, some more snake people, you know. And they went back in the cage because she was like, go back in there. And they were like, oh, and they were huge, these griffins. She spliced them together because they eat reptilian people. They eat snakes. So those are the men she was killing. So don't get it twisted. She wasn't killing nobody like Bobby Hemmett or Michael Jackson or you know, somebody like, she wasn't doing that. She wasn't looking at people like that. Okay? Yeah. Because if that's the case, then there wouldn't be no men in California. There's none but men in California everywhere. And in Florida. See, Florida and California is the same. We have the same mother type women there. Was nothing but women. There was pockets of different cities where there's nothing but women. That's all you saw. So when these white men said, oh, there was nothing but women, and they were riding on flying griffins. Yes, that was in Florida too. Because Trump's father was the urban renewal commissioner. He's the one that removed us from our lands. He helped with that. That's why Trump is a real estate agent. That's why he's all up in our face trying to figure out if we're going to figure it out. Well, we figured it out, and it doesn't matter what you are. What matters is that we confiscate our own communities. We have to confiscate our own home and our property for now on, because no foreigner can come in here and tell you, and can make you pay rent or food or water in your own land. They can't do that. Just look at the marijuana they charge an arm and a leg for. It's ours. Why are you charging money for marijuana when it's ours? Like, it's okay. So let me just get off this thing here. I'm just, I was just trying to let you know that we have to start confiscating our buildings. Okay, so back to the land. When I bidded for the land right here through the city council, anybody can bid land for land. I bidded for this property right here. This is a real property that's right there. My house is right there. Type it in. Chino, College Park in Chino. Yeah. Okay. When I did that, I received an eviction notice 3 months ago. That was a long time ago because we had answered it. This is why we have to confiscate our buildings. This is why we have to get a hold of Lori Lightfoot, because you see, why would the city council give me an eviction notice when I'm trying to create the promised land? If I'm trying to create the promised land, why would I get an eviction notice from the apartment people when the apartment people don't even know who I am? They just think I'm some poor black lady in some low-income housing. They don't know what they don't know that I do what I do. So they're in connection, evidently. They're in connection. Now, that's why we have to get a hold of, well, I already did get a hold of Lori Lightfoot. What I'm saying is that people have to email her and say, hey, did you get a hold of Catherine? Hey, California Governor Gavin Newsom, did you get a hold of Catherine? She filled out the $4 trillion application to service this, to make this become a reality. Go ahead and contact Catherine Gavin Newsom, NBC News, who killed Bill Cosby's son. Why don't you go ahead and contact Chicago Mayor instead of looking at our misery before we come in there and take your head off? You might want to help before we come in there. You understand? Because when we come in there, we're not going to say hi and sing kumbaya with you. We're going to confiscate the buildings. You're talking bad about us on our own land. It's an abomination. You're going to have to stop that shit. Now, anyway, so now back to my people. Now, listen, she's me. I wasn't killing men. We was killing snake people. Please understand that. And there's many, 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 many women who believe in what I'm saying. I have, different subscribers that understand and know that in Florida, like California, there was many different pockets of women who lived with men, but at a distance. They would keep the boys and they would raise the boys, and that's fine. I mean, it's just different lifestyles we had. But she's real. I'm incarnated with her. This is me. I'm her. And I believe in her philosophy because she was only getting rid of the snake people that would get rid of us. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So my grandbaby is up. I'm going to get off this thing. That is my cue to leave here and start baking my delicious cupcakes. I made chocolate chip cookies yesterday, so I'll make some cupcakes today. Okay. Let me go, and let me tell you, it is very important that you please send this to Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who created the Safety Act, and she was supposed to. You're supposed to. It's very important that you do that. We have to save ourselves from the snake people, obviously, right? Okay, so that's it. I'll make a video tomorrow.